Management, a certificate in CELTA, and is a British Council certified IELTS trainer and professional business trainer as well. Now, it's time for me to hand it over to Hemaji. Hemaji, over to you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Yoga. And a warm welcome to everybody here. Hope all of you are great. If you are, give me a thumbs up. I cannot see a thumbs up. Yeah, lots of it coming up. Thank you so much. Thank you for that response. Great. Uh, Thank you. So this is supposed, as you're all aware, this is a taster session. Okay, this is a taster session of our 16 hours course. And as Yoga already mentioned, this is a module from intercultural skills. So when we say intercultural skills, what is intercultural skills is what first we will be looking into, and then we will be getting into the module as such. In the real training that happens, we give them resources like the toolkit and the task book for the learners. Toolkit is supposed to be a concept guide that they take after the course to revisit the concept after the training. And taskbook is supposed to be a workbook where they do the tasks, a worksheet sort of, where they do the task during the training. It's a part of a 16-hour. Can I request you to mute, please? I think it is Krati Bansal. Thank you so much. So this is a 16-hour course as said, and this module is supposed to be of 2 hours, but in the interest of time, we are going to look into the highlights of the module within the 1 hour that we are going to engage with. And maybe may I first request as many as possible to switch on the cameras and be engaging as possible to make it so interactive. Otherwise, it would be like I'm interacting to a screen. Thank you so much. If it's not possible, it's quite fine. Please engage yourself through the chat box. I'll be more than glad if you could unmute and voice out and speak and share your experience. We're all here to share our experiences and learn. So thank you. So let me first share my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen and hear my voice as well. Hopefully you're listening to me. Am I audible, everybody? So just confirm if you can see my screen, okay? Just give me a second.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you see the slide? Yoga, is it visible?
Yes, we can see the slide here.
658.
Okay. So the module that we will be looking into is analyzing behavior and preferences in new intercultural situations. So what is our takeaway going to be from this module is, just give me a second. Yeah. So you will be able to evaluate, you will be better to evaluate the positive intent of the other's behavior in new intercultural situations. Yes. So
Schedule?
we will take away, hopefully you can hear me and see the screen. Please confirm.
Yes, yeah, we can see this.
Thank you so much. Okay. So before we begin, before we dive into the module, what is intercultural skills? Please share your views, use the chat box, or please feel free to unmute and speak. What is intercultural skills? Anybody?
To be able to interact with anyone who follow other culture, maybe it is due to geographical location or belief effectively.
Very good. Any other viewpoints? Somebody else wanted to share?
Yeah, I would just extend it also, not only geographical or belief, but I think culture is everything that defines us. Also, the family is already, each family has a different culture. So, yeah, so intercultural skill is to interculture, that means to interact with other cultures.
Absolutely. It's not only the geography as you came up. It is when we say culture, it is different families, it is different backgrounds, it is different religions, so different languages. So cultures doesn't depend on geography. Even within this country, within India, we have different cultures. So yes, absolutely. That's a good start, great start. Okay, why intercultural skills? Why do we need intercultural skills in today's
See,
workspace environment? Why do we need that?
if we have the
So,
intercultural skills, that is the main thing to have the way we speak with other people in
Mhm.
outside or inside of the company. So this mostly works in between company environment where we can learn more thing by speaking with other people in a good way, cultural way to understand about themselves and treat them in that the same way which they like, how we should speak with them
Ah.
and how they should speak with us. So in that way, so intercultural skills is most needed in every environment, not only in company, in outside also.
Okay, so outside as fantastic. Not only in the workplace, he's extending beyond the workplace. Okay, but it's super important at our workplace. Agreed.
Yeah, communication with everyone, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their differences, the connection mainly to incorporate the differences.
Absolutely. So when you say communicate with people across different cultures, if you don't possess this intercultural competence, it can lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it
Yeah.
can be a
mhm.
tool to avoid conflicts,
Absolutely.
which
Avoid
arise
manage
due to
conflicts. Yes,
yeah.
constructively. Definitely. Definitely. So, why intercultural? First of all, it helps us to effectively communicate as you rightly came up with. And naturally, it is going to help us to better work in a team and to collaborate well with people across different cultures. And as a result of which, it is going to increase productivity and efficiency because miscommunication and cultural friction can slow down the work, right? So, if you're going to be interculturally aware, then it is going to enable smoother coordination and faster decision making. inclusivity. So when these intercultural skills helps you to become more inclusive and respect people across different cultures. Therefore, you're going to strengthen your work environment. The productivity is you can boost the productivity if you're going to be inclusive, because today we are working in a diverse work environment. So different people from different diverse varied background is what we are interacting with on a day-to-day basis. So that is one thing. And naturally, if you're going to have all these things, it is going to lead to a global business success. So how many of you today work in organizations where you have at least a colleague from a different culture, or a client or a customer, at least one? Most of us deal with plenty of
Yeah.
customers and clients from different cultures, from different geography. So how many of you work in such organizations here? Can I have a show of hands, please? So many of you here. Fantastic. Okay. Good. So many of you. So can you see my screen? Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can see.
Fantastic. So to begin with, I have certain self-reflection questions. Believe me, these are powerful questions. I'll give you a quick 2 minutes to reflect on these questions. And you have two options. I prefer always unmuting and sharing your answers. If not, please use the chat box depending on your situation there. Okay. So there are 4 questions here. I'll give you 2 minutes to reflect on these questions and share the answers with us. So your time starts now. 2 minutes for you. Okay. So hopefully you're ready. Whoever is ready, you can share your
Yes.
experience. Yeah. You can unmute and answer.
I felt the happiest when my niece was born. It was the happiest moment all over. And time which I struggled the most was 2020, 2005. And I felt proud when I scored a highest marks. My father was totally proud of me. That time I felt that he's proud of me. That's why. And then recently I have just purchased something um, in a asset form. So he was very proud of me. That was the moment that I made my parent proud, and that made me feel proud. And I'm
Okay.
looking up to be a good personality,
Who
a
do you
knowledgeable
look
and a
up to?
good
The
successful.
question was, who do you look up to?
Who do you look up to? To my mother. Always.
Can you repeat it?
Who do you look up? I look up to for my mother, as my mother is
Your mother.
now in a, yes, she is in a religious culture now. So I'm looking up to her.
Okay. Anybody else? That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your response. Anybody else? One more person, if you can
ma'am.
come up. Thank you.
For the first question, I felt happiest when in college time I
Mhm.
got first division and have done top in the university and got achievement certificate and recognition from university.
Mhm.
Uh, Most struggled time, I think I have started my own business a year ago.
Mhm.
In that time, that was the most struggling phase of my life.
Mhm.
And for proud part of time that during those hard time of business days, after even struggling into new field, I just try to be overcome the challenges
Mm.
and just focus on the things that will be beneficial for long term and will be good for my career,
Okay.
and positive things that I can learn from there towards achieving my dreams. And if I see, uh, I look up to, I just want to be at a place where I can easily, where I can be financial stable and I can also contribute towards people, towards society. So everyone, people can recognize me.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen? I'm just confirming again and again because sometimes
Yeah, we
my
can see your
screen
screen.
toggles.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So we have received some answers with in the interest of time, I'm not able to extend, but it's fantastic that I've got an engage. Is there somebody speaking? So, okay, I've got an engaging crowd. So why did we now self-reflect on these questions? Because these questions are powerful questions which will help you to identify the subconsciously held values, beliefs, and the motivations. So this is why these questions are super important. Just in case if I'm going to ask you, what are the important values in your life? What would you come up with? Can you tell me 2 values which are important? Anybody?
Honesty and dedication.
Yeah, honesty and dedication. Why did we say this? Because these are supposed to be, we have a list of best values, so-called best values, right? So that's the reason that comes to the top of the mind and we say that. Is it really, are these values really subconsciously your real core values? That is a question mark. And when I say question mark, you definitely don't realize whether it is your subconsciously held value. And these questions will help you to understand. For example, if somebody came and told me, somebody just told me that my time with my family, I think I forgot the first speaker. I forgot her name. She said that something to do with her family. That was the moment that I felt happiest. So when she gave that answer, it means that she values more of connections and relationships. So that is the core value that she subconsciously hold. And somebody came up telling about what made when did he feel proud about something. He came up telling, I lost my business in that phase of life. I really felt bad, but then I came up, I out of it. So I came out of it with researched into what is the problem. I retrospected about what happened, and then I reworked on the measures and schemes that I looked into, and then I came out of it and I became successful. He said, right? Then his subconsciously held value is resilience. So the answers to these questions will help you to identify your subconsciously held values, not just quoting the values that are the best ones. Now that we have answers for these questions, let's move on to the next. Yeah. So what are values? Values are core principles that underlie our behaviors as well as our beliefs about what we think is right or wrong. So let's analyze our values now. For this, there are a list of values given here. If I'm going to just ask what are the name 3 core values, you will come up with honesty and sincerity. Now do not do that. Now go back, reflect back to the answers of those 4 questions that you thought about. And then I'll give you a quick 1 minute to think about 3 core values of yours that you subconsciously hold. So connect it with your experience and then arrive at the values. I'll give you 1 minute, quick 1 minute. Choose only 3 core values that you subconsciously held. This is a list, but it is exhaustive list, but it's not the end of it. There are more values beyond this. You can always pick one from a bigger list, but this is just for you to guide you. 1 minute, 3 core values of yours. Please reflect on the answers and then choose your core values. If you're ready, you give me a thumbs up, okay? I get 1. Okay. Ruhani or Suhail or Shobana, I've got 4, 5 thumbs up. I'm just giving you 30 more seconds. Okay. So hopefully, can I have some answers in the chat box, please? And whoever would like to unmute and speak as well can go ahead. 3 core values. Please connect it to the answers to the questions. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Achievement, helpfulness, performance.
Achievement,
9.
help. Okay. Helpfulness, performance. Anybody else?
Spirituality,
Mhm.
knowledge, creativity.
Creativity. Good. One more answer I can take.
I would say family, accountability, human rights, trust, and commitment.
Human rights, trust, and commitment. Okay. She's got 5 there in hand. Quick to get the 5. Fantastic. Okay. So hopefully all of you have chosen minimum of 3 core values based on the answers for those questions. Okay. For example, when did you, the question that spoke about, the third question here, what time in your life have you struggled the most? See, this is the time when you experienced pain, right? When do you experience pain? When your values are blocked is when you experience the pain. So based on this is what you will arrive at the subconscious value. Fantastic that you have chosen the value. Now, these values that you spoke about can be categorized into 2, like values that you acquire during the early life when you were a child or in your early years, you would have acquired. Certain other values you acquire during your later phase of your life. It could be at your higher education, workplace, when you start mingling with the people in the society as an individual. Yeah, it could be that as well. So there are 2 phases where you start acquiring values. And of course, we don't stop acquiring them at any part of our life. As we grow, we keep acquiring values depending on the situations, environment, and the people we keep interacting with. It is a continuous process. And we keep reinforcing on certain values that we acquired during our early lives as well. So considering 2 phases now, we just look into a value and behavior tree. This is the value and behavior tree where if you can see the root, which is supposed to be the base, okay, represents the values that you acquired from your childhood, family, and educational influences. When we say educational, mostly it is your school phase, okay? And the second part is the trunk, where these are the values that you acquired or learned from other cultural groups at a later phase of your life, probably from your higher education, workplace, based on different aspects like age, gender, disability, job, and organization. And if you can see, the topmost part is the canopy or the foliage, which represents the behaviors. Okay, these are the values that influence our behavior. So this behaviors actually demonstrate the values. Can people see our values or can people see our behaviors? Which one people could see?
Both.
Is
People
that so?
can see both.
Okay. So
Yeah.
people can see your honesty. How do they see your honesty? Somebody came up telling, I am an honest, or achievement. Somebody came up telling achievement. How do they see your value achievement?
See, value achievement. I'll give you an example from corporate side. Achievement, like I'm into the sales part.
Okay.
So if after a quite long times, months, I'm working on one project and working on some multiple projects, I don't have any closes. The management has felt okay, he is not worth for this company. He couldn't even close one deal in his tenure for the 1 year. But at a single point in time, I have came up with a CR 1 to 2 CR business. That time management realized, okay, his 1 year effort has gave this much revenue to our company in a single deal,
So,
which can, yeah,
yeah. So you achieved something there, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And what do they see? Do they see the value as such, as achievement, or the actions or the behavior? You went, you interacted with the client, you negotiated with them, It could be however the process is. You brought in that order, you brought in the client into your
Yeah.
workplace, right? So
Yeah.
does your management, did your management see that behavior or the action of yours bringing in your client, or your value achievement as an achievement, as a value? What did they see first? What do they see?
See, the first thing they see is the value achievement, like how much he has got.
Mhm.
First thing for every company, that is the thing. What is the value? Then the secondary part comes. How did you achieve?
So that's the question I'm again placing. If anybody has got another point of view, please come in.
I feel behavior is a reflection of your values. What people see is the outcome of the values in terms of your behavior.
Absolutely. So behaviors demonstrate the values. Values are the drivers of your behaviors. Okay, they drive your behaviors. Based on the values, you showcase your behavior. And these behaviors demonstrate the values that you hold. So they are at something like an iceberg analogy. You can compare these values and behaviors to an iceberg. Okay. The tip of the iceberg that is above the surface and the rest of the iceberg, which is below the water. Which do you think is values and which do you think is the behavior that they can see and that is unknown? Which do you think is, can you categorize them now?
Is the behavior and values is the inside the water.
Absolutely. So this is what it is. So people perceive you based on your behaviors. They analyze definitely your values, but they see only your behaviors. Through your behaviors is what they need to navigate to find what is the value that you hold. So having said that, let's quickly little reflect on our values that we acquired during our early years and our values that we learned during our later part of our life, possibly in your higher education or workplace or a different context when you independently start mingling with people, okay, in the society. Quickly, an example, if I would like to give you, I'd say my core value that I achieved or that I learned is dependability when I was at my early years. I value dependability because I believe people should be able to trust me to fulfill my responsibilities. So being dependable means to me is keeping promises, meeting deadlines. We'll come to that. Okay. To me, I said dependability means keeping promises, meeting deadlines, and supporting my colleagues or people who trust me much when they need. Okay. So the influence, what influenced this value into me? What influence? There are lots of influences. Probably my family upbringing, because I'm talking about a value that acquired in my early stage. For probably my family upbringing influenced directly into this, I feel, where commitment and reliability was emphasized at an early age itself into me. One other aspect, if you can see, could be the culture in which we are, brought about, our Indian culture, because I'm an Indian. So in Indian culture, we strongly uphold the value called dependability. It is closely connected to responsibility, isn't it? Towards work, towards family, commitment towards people. So that could be an influence. Global influences as well as much as possible, because when I entered into the workplace, the global workplace, when I entered into that, the constantly, no, when I constantly engage with my team members, that also influenced me to hold this value dependability. But how do I show this value dependability? So this I demonstrate through a behavior. So as I rightly said, dependability is, for me, is keeping promises, arriving a couple of minutes earlier. Probably if suppose somebody has entrusted me the duty of organizing a meeting, I always ensure that I reach there a couple of minutes earlier. Okay, I meet deadlines. Very rarely I get extension for deadlines. I try my best to meet my deadlines. I get clarifications well in advance regarding the project and ensure that I submit the proposal well within the deadline. Very rarely I get an extension. And I'm always there when I support, for the support of others, at the right time, at the right place. So this behavior is what would demonstrate my value dependability. If you ask about my value that I acquired later, is inclusiveness. So this, what influenced me, could be the diverse society that I live in. later part of my life, right from my university, I started interacting with different people from diverse backgrounds. Okay, that could be a possible influence. And at my workplace, I've been working in global organizations. And the organization that I currently work in as well is a global organization where we constantly interact with people from across countries, across cultural backgrounds, different geography as well. Okay. And from different religions as well. Not only that, we also have LGBTQ students and specially abled students. So these are maybe the influencing factors that made me hold this value, acquire this value, inclusivity. And what is a behavior through which I showcase this? I appreciate differences. I treat everybody equally. I include others. I don't judge anybody based on different aspects like the culture or the religion or the special ability. No. So this is my behavior. So people see my behavior, not my value. Now I'll give you a quick 2 minutes for you to think about one value that you acquired during your early phase and what is the behavior through which you demonstrate this. Similarly, one value that you acquired during your later phase and one behavior. It could be one. I've given you lots of examples for the behaviors here. You just come up with one behavior that demonstrates that value of yours. So 2 minutes for the two values and two behaviors. Related to your real life context, in a jiffy, you can get it.
One thing I can share is lead by example or taking initiatives is one of the values because I can say I overcome that fear of I was waiting all the time to see to be the second, I can say, not first. Then suddenly I thought, why can't I take the initiative and be the first? To such a level, now I had to hold myself to give the opportunity to others, so that again I want to take the back seat and be the second or later, right? So the objective was after the years of experience of practicing that. Now I think all these years I've kind of tried to motivate others to take the initiative. Now I'm giving them the opportunity so that they can add their value. So it's I think that's how I have implemented it in my life.
What influenced you to hold this as a value? What are the factors that influenced you?
Like it's being more expressive, right? I felt like I was not expressive, whereas all my family, right from my grandfather, they are in the education industry.
Okay.
And they have been more expressive and was able to share things with clarity of in their thoughts. Then I think then I felt like if it's there in my family, obviously it will be there in me
Why
as
not
well.
in me?
Yeah, why not in me? So it was just required to polish a bit or tap into that potential. So I think, yeah, that's what I kind of.
Fantastic, fantastic. Anybody else would like to come up with any of the values, either the later part, probably at your workplace that you acquired, or the early years? Anybody else?
Creativity was the value,
Creativity.
and it was added like as people give me something to do, I used to do it with my perception as well. A spice of my thing should be added, so it should distinct from everything else. Like putting holding a glass or putting a glass somewhere else. It's all come into the creativity part. And moreover, my family background is full of creativity. My father, my mother, my grandfather. So this was my childhood particular value, which I carried on forwarding with past times.
Fantastic. Okay. Again, it's from your family. The influence is from your family and your relatives. Okay. Yes. Anybody else from your workplace? Any value that you acquired? After you started working, after you got into the industry?
Professionalism.
Professionalism. Fantastic. And what is that behavior that demonstrates this value of professionalism of yours?
As we are speaking now more of intercultural things, so people come from different places, so we come to know their activities and the kind of behaviors, so the kind of like the kind of response what they give for us. So everything matters.
Another thing also is there we can mention is listening from the working place. Most time we should listen the things properly. Like if someone is trying to address something,
Mhm.
so that is the thing, because till colleges and all we will be most fire in ourselves. So after joining the work environment, we should we I learned the main thing is I should listen others opposite person and then react to that.
Absolutely. Mindful listening. Listening is different from mindful listening, right? So, mindful listening consists of three things, like it is preparing to listen, staying focused and present, and also showing that you're listening. All these three components together forms mindful listening, which, as he rightly came up with, very rarely you see in today's collegites, right? So,
Correct.
I'm not trying to generalize it. I'm trying to say that many youngsters still have to learn how to do mindful listening, as he rightly
बैटमैन
said.
बना हूं मैं.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's great. Now we learned how to analyze, how to identify the behaviors that demonstrate our values and how values are the drivers of our behaviors. And we also saw that people see our behaviors first, not the values, isn't it? Our values are invisible. The behaviors is what they perceive. Okay. Do you think that the core value that we just discussed can be negatively perceived? Can you share any experience, anybody, where you did not intend that, but your behavior was perceived negatively by others, and as a result of which there was some conflict, maybe at a minimal level, or it escalated? It could be that as well. Anybody would like to come up with that? Your intent was not that, but it was negatively perceived. Any
Right.
behavior of yours?
Hema, I think I can share that it happened just yesterday. So my
Oh,
whole
very fresh. Yeah.
yeah. So I believe in having working in collaboration and supporting even other departments as well. So due to that, what I try to help my HR team as well in what, like for example, we have one learning partner to have they are like we have partnered with that particular company from US global side of it, and they also have a presence in India. So I was attending one of their events and I suggested connect with me if you have any India presence, so that because learning is something which is can change, our preference can change based on geography as well, right? So I want to understand how they can cater to. So then what they did was they reached out directly to our US L&D head, and this someone reached out. They need some help. So I got a response from that saying, "Why are you trying to reach out to our partners directly, even though that's not my role?" So I said,
Intention.
intention. So I said, because I mean, I don't have to be in a specific role to help out or collaborate, right? So I said it would help if I was just trying to get a contact so that I can pass it on to the India HR team so that they can work closely, because when you say partner, that means we are already paying. So we need to make use of that services as max as possible. So then I had to tell
Typical
that.
HR. Okay, I got it.
Right. So that I then have to clarify that I'm not trying to step into your area. I was just trying to create that connection so that you both can collaborate and get maximum value out of it. So yeah. So
So
yeah,
your
that
idea
value of
was connection.
collaboration,
Your core value was
right?
collaboration and connection. But
Collaboration,
look at
but
how your behavior was misinterpreted. Not
right.
yeah, it was misinterpreted, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic example. Thank you for sharing that. And I request more people to share your real-time examples like this. That's when the session becomes very meaningful. So I wanted to give an example, but I think I've already got a nice case study from I'm sorry, your name, the person who spoke now.
Azharuddin.
Azharuddin. Thank you so much for that experience of yours, for sharing that. Fantastic. So I wanted to give a example. So I'll just quickly take you through that. Take my example of dependability as a value. My core value was dependability. Okay, is dependability, and imagine that there's a meeting and I leave the meeting a little early, okay? Or I arrive at the meeting a little early. Both cases possible. Imagine if I leave the meeting early when the meeting is still going on. How negatively would people perceive my behavior? Can you come up with some? How will you perceive this action of mine? Am I audible?
Yeah,
You
you're
mean
audible. Yeah.
without informing, without telling that you need to drop due to, usually that's what the
No, it is
practice
not
is,
an
right?
online meet. It is a face-to-face meet. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I tell the reason. Okay. I tell the reason and I leave early. But still, the discussion is going on.
Yeah, they will take it in other ways, like why
Like
he's not.
what kind of a person I am. People start judging me. Can you
Yeah,
come up
why
with
why she or he is coming in
so what
coming
kind of a
early and
person am
going.
I?
Casual.
Yeah.
Unprofessional is the word, I think. The first one that
It
unprofessional was
completely
it.
depends. It completely depends the nature of the, urgency for what you are leaving. If say it is an emergency and you're
So you're
leaving,
being very
so
empathetic. Thank you so much. But do all people really think about what is the urgency for her and all those things?
no, but
Do
you're
they really do
telling
that?
the reason, right? You are specifying the reason, so that reason should be, apt for why you are leaving the meeting.
Okay. So can people
Okay.
also negatively perceive my action? I leave the
That is
meeting early.
quite possible. So
Quite
there are,
possible, yeah.
there is like a perception of people. So
What will they
all the
consider
five
me
senses are not.
as? Any adjective that you can
Yes, yes. Not.
term?
I'll
Arrogant.
give you. Not
Wow.
arrogant. It
Okay.
is. It is
Arrogant.
about.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Shower
No,
of
I'm not getting the
negative
right word.
adjectives now.
Not
Himanshu,
planning,
if
like
you remember, we read about a case recently
Mhm.
abroad. I don't remember which country, but a lady was fired from a job for having come continuously early for her work to her workplace.
Yeah,
But
I think I've read it somewhere. Yes.
she was fired from her job for coming early every day, in spite of her
Ah,
being told not to come. Because
fantastic.
it was the other employees were feeling upset that she was coming in early. And
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
that is the negative behavior that you're looking at here. People's perceiveness of their time and their importance when
Mhm.
the other person is not considering taking that into consideration.
Absolutely. Maybe they could consider her as being impatient, probably.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that is what exactly I'm trying to say. If I arrive a little bit early, maybe that is a result. That behavior of mine is a result of my core value that I hold. That is dependability. People depend on me. I have a contribution to be made at the meeting, and I want to be well in advance there and prepare for it. But that is perceived negatively by people who come in just on time, and they fear that others might negatively perceive the way they come in to attend the meeting, possibly. And that's the reason why they start jumping into conclusions and make judgments on people as being impatient. The same thing when I leave little early, they start terming people as being rude. Yeah. So we have just discussed some examples for how people can perceive our behavior negatively. Okay. Now there are three questions here. Can you just give it a thought and share your answers for these questions, please? Now that we have looked into what are values, what are the subconscious values we hold, what is the behavior, what are the behaviors, and how it can be negatively perceived. So the first question, so can somebody unmute or type in the chat box?
Straightforwardness can be perceived negatively.
Okay, the first
Most
question
of the
is the
people.
value or the
Value,
behavior
the
that
behavior,
is negatively perceived?
straightforwardness.
No. The question is it value or the behavior? We now learned what is value and how behaviors are the drivers of
Behavior.
The behavior.
Behavior is wait. Behavior
Yes,
has been
negatively perceived. They don't see the
perceived.
value.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The
Correct.
second question, how could negatively perceived behaviors affect an intercultural situation?
They might judge
Misinterpretation.
you. You misinterpret it. You misunderstand what we are saying, or the
Okay.
tone of the voice can affect them. That how she's talking on that particular ground.
Okay.
And
So
they may perceive your behavior as your culture as well if you continue to show that negative behavior, right?
And
So obviously,
right.
if, let's say this happens in
Right.
mostly if you're working with, let's say, any of your foreign clients. So if you continue to do something multiple times, when they're referring to my country or my community with someone else, they say, like Indians are like this, or this guy, this is like that. So yeah,
Absolutely. So
continuous
Yeah, Indians are like this. So I'm just going to catch on that phrase. Can it lead to judgments? Can
Yes.
negatively perceived behaviors lead to judgments?
Judgments. Yeah.
Yes. They
Yeah,
they
mostly
immediately
judgments.
jump into conclusions, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And as a result of which, what happens? As a result of you jumping into conclusions and judging somebody, judging the behavior and the person as a whole sometimes, yes. So what happens? There is a breakdown of trust and communication happening there. So that is
Yeah.
why it's important that we should not jump into conclusions and make judgments. Instead, we have to analyze the behavior. We're going to see how we're going to do that. Moving on to the third question, how can we overcome this? How can we stop somebody from negatively interpreting your behavior? Or how can we stop ourselves? We also do the same, right? We interpret negatively somebody's behavior as well. It happens both sides. So how can we stop this? So
Taking in a positive way.
By not judging.
okay, by not
Yes,
judging,
it-
taking
By
in a positive way,
understanding,
by
by
understanding,
understanding, by giving
absolutely.
time for that environment.
Fantastic. So we need to first observe, then analyze, then understand, ask questions about what is the reason behind this behavior of that person, understand and respond positively. So that takes us to the next question. How can you perceive the intent of the other party's behavior? So I'm going to quickly show a video of, this is a classic multicultural situation, okay? There are 5 characters here. They in fact are from the same department, HR department, okay? All of them have been working together on a global project. They have been in touch with each other through emails and conference calls, but not face to face. So this is the first time they're going to go face to face and have a meeting on a project update. A quick introduction. Noor is from the MENA region, that is the Middle East and the North African region. He's again regional HR manager. Ashley is from UK, okay, and Faith is from the Sub-Saharan region. Alex is chairing the meeting here, and Lee is from Southeast Asia. So they are going to have a meeting, and I want you to observe these aspects of their behavior and analyze it. Okay, so what are you going to observe? Their words, their vocal qualities, their body language, and personal space. So when you say words, it is not just the words. You're going to look into these aspects. What is the word choice they use? Are they expressing their opinions or just facts? Okay. Direct and indirect questions. Are they using direct questions or they're using long-winded indirect questions? Straight to the point. Basically, are they business people, business first or people first? Okay. And are they responding to all the questions that's been put forward to them? Are they greeting each other? Is there an element